everything that could go wrong went wrong. Everything. And in that period, it was very stressing. I lost 2 relatives in the same day. I could feel lots of pressure. The day before the sport challenge, I got flu. What to do? I decided to run.
Going through some pain sometimes causes you to stop and think, but sometimes it ignites a flame. It ignites fire inside of you and gets you up to go and do things you've never done before. And that's exactly what happened to my next guest. So please welcome into the show a real, true adventure athlete that made it here in Dubai, Nico de Corato.
When people used to ask me, how long did it take to prepare 200 kilometers solo run? I can say a whole life, because it's a daily training. It's a 24 hours training. My happiness is to guarantee a good life to my family. This is my most important achievement. But I could not believe I was going on with this excitement that I was doing something impossible for me till a few months before. But then something happened.
Tell me how losing your hair impacts your masculinity, self-esteem, and your confidence. Well, Nico, thank you for coming to join us on the show today.
Thanks, Spencer, for inviting me here. I'm very happy to be there.
Well, you and I have got something in common. We met through AYS, the property developer that sponsored this podcast and you're a brand ambassador for. But we'll talk about that later, because I'd love my audience to get to know you a bit better first. Now, they're going to hear this really strong accent, when they start seeing content on you, they're going to understand that you're quite an adventurous soul. But if you can take me back to the beginning of your journey and tell me more about what it was like growing up in Italy and what your relationships were like with your parents, that'd be a good place for me to get a good understanding.
First of all, I'm Nico de Corato. I am from Italy, but I can say I'm from Napoli, which is south of Italy. And people from Napoli used to say that they are not Italian, they are Neapolitan. And actually, I am here from Napoli. In particular, I can tell you that I am not from a rich part of Napoli, but one of the most difficult districts in the town. But thanks to my parents, I do love them. I studied, I went to the university. I am a telecommunication engineer. And even though I've never been working as an engineer, I got the mindset of the engineer. And you can see that in everything I do, also in my daily life. I've been living in Napoli till 2004, when I joined the powerboat championship, because I've always been in love with the powerboat. My master thesis is about motorsport, and I got the occasion to work in the World Powerboat Championship in 2004, and I started traveling with the championship till arriving to Dubai in December 2004, and I fell in love with Dubai. And after 20 years and more, I'm still here in Dubai talking to you today.
20 years in Dubai. We're kind of a couple of old hands here, aren't we? As we get older, and there's all these young people that come in nowadays and they think they've been here a long time when they've done 2 years, let alone 20 years like us. Exciting sport to be involved in, powerboat racing. Okay, that's definitely something that's quite glamorous, isn't it? You must have traveled all over the world with that.
We did 4 races in Europe, 4 races in the Middle East, because at that time class 1 was only in Europe and Middle East, so no US, no China.
So that's a kind of like a high adrenaline, high octane type of sport, and so attracts a certain type of person to it. Did you enjoy being part of that?
Absolutely. I love motorsport in general. I also love sports car, motorbikes. I am a biker as well. And so it was my dream, actually. I remember that 1 month before getting my degree, I got a phone call, chance to work with one of the big consulting companies at the world, and I decided not to accept that job, because I got at the same time the offer to join the Powerball Championship as a freelance. So no contract and nothing guarantee, but it was my dream. So I did it, and thanks to that choice, now I'm still here.
When you look at your achievements over the years, and we'll go into that in some more detail as we go through this conversation, what are you most proud of?
From a sport point of view, the 200 kilometers solo run, which is my hardest sport challenge, solo sport challenge, and it was not only that; it was the final stage of a long path. I did my first sport challenge in 2015, so exactly 10 years ago, and it took lots of sacrifice to accomplish the 200 kilometers. So when people used to ask me, how long did it take to prepare a 200 kilometers solo run? I can say a whole life, because it's a daily training. It's a 24 hours training. That's from a sport point of view. From a professional point of view, I think there is no an award that can tell. There is no bank account that can tell my my happiness in this moment. But my happiness is to guarantee a good life to my family. That's the most important thing. To be safe, to enjoy a good life, to live in the safest country of the world, to have chance to enjoy our life. Because luckily, I'm not working 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, but I have lots of time for my family, and this is my most important achievement.
It's interesting because it's almost like you lean into the word balance to some degree,
Yeah.
but then you're so extreme in other parts of what you do and how you live your life that kind of flies in the face of balance to some degree, doesn't it?
I told you, I am an engineer.
Well, let's talk about all of your sporting achievements, and then let's go into the 200, because that fascinates me. I only know a few people that have ever done something like that. And I've learned about what it takes, but I'd really like to get your take on it. So what was the first kind of endurance athlete type event that you entered into, and what kind of feeling did it give you?
It's a pretty long story. I will make it shorter. In 2015, I met one guy from Italy, and I shared with him the idea of having one day, a future day, a full desert marathon. Sorry, a full marathon in the desert. And this guy, after 3 days, brought me in the desert in Liwa, and he left me alone there. Can you see this road? Okay, just run. You will find me along the road. Boom. I was alone in the desert, 46 degrees. And I start, okay, running and running and running. And after 8 hours running, he stopped me and said, come, you just realized your dream. You completed your first 42 kilometers in the desert. What? I could not believe, because after a while I stopped thinking. I was just running and managing what was happening. And something that was impossible for me few hours before, now it was something real. And then he said, we will not stop here. I want you to complete 100 kilometers run in the desert before the end of the year, in 6 months. And actually, we did that. And so I was going on with this excitement that I was doing something impossible for me till a few months before. But then something happened, and was something not easy, not good, because after one of my sport challenge, a 140 kilometers, everything that could go wrong, went wrong. Everything, because during the preparation, first of all, I was not followed properly by a nutritionist or coach or everything. So I was managing by myself, because hey, I've done 100 kilometers. Now I can manage 140 alone. I don't need anybody. And so I was just training, just following my sensation, my routine and everything. And in that period, it was very stressy. My wife just relocated to Dubai. It was not easy for her, so there was lots of stress also in our family. I lost two relatives in the same day, brother and sister of my father. And
So your auntie and your uncle.
yeah, 1 month before the sport challenge. And it was my first proper sport challenge. We advertised this sport challenge, and I found also several partner and sponsor, big names. I don't want to advertise anyone, but big names of sport industry, energy drink, photography, and everything. So I could feel lots of pressure on me, and just to complete the day before the sport challenge, high temperature. I got flu. And what to do? You stop. You decided not to do that, to postpone. I had journalists coming from Italy and all the advertisement. I decided to run. And after this run, in on less than 2 months, I got some health problem. Actually, I was physically good, but I started losing all my hair. I mean, you can see no arrows, no hair anymore, and completely gone. I was losing my nails as well. Okay, in 2 months. So my face was changing, and most of the people from the neighbor to a person from a schoolmate that I'm not in touch with for last 20 years, sending a message, "Hey Nico, I can see you're a little bit different, but is there any problem you want to talk about?" And it was very stressful. 100 message per day. I mean, I was already facing something difficult for me. And then you have all the pressure from your parents, from your relatives, from your friends, and from people you don't see for 20 years. What's happening? And actually, I didn't know. I was just going from one doctor to the other one and trying to figure it out. And I just started my YouTube channel, and I was just looking different in front of the mirror. I was afraid of the mirror. That's why I started wearing a cap and glasses just to try to hide. Now I still have it because it's my style, but I don't care to remove my hat or to remove my glasses. But if I do that, maybe people will not recognize me because they are used to look at me in
Yeah.
with this style. But at that time, it was uh, my shield to protect from other people. And can you imagine? No, maybe you can't imagine. What does it mean to receive 100 message per day, Spencer? But are you well? Are you doing chemo or radiotherapy or every day, every day, every day? And you have also to take care of your relatives and parents that you're fine. So it was not an easy period. And I mean, at one point, I started reacting thank, thanks to a huge accident because I was reacting, but in a bad way, doing also more extreme stuff. So one day I took my bicycle. I'm not expert biker. I took my bicycle, a fat bike, you know, the one with the fat tires,
Yeah,
to
yeah.
go in the desert. And I was with a friend of mine. Hey Massimo, just take a picture of me. I want to jump over the dunes. And actually, I broke my bone. I just fell down.
Yeah, sternum.
Yes, sternum. The steering wheel just turned, and bam. Luckily, I was not alone. I could die actually, but thanks to that accident, I have the pictures. If you are not scared, I will show you later. Thanks to that accident, I realized that I had to change something in my life, and I needed to react in a different way. I started proper nutrition. I started yoga. I started to be more quiet and to accept my status, my new status. So I still remember that I made a video for YouTube that went viral. The name in Italian, non sto facendo le chemioterapie, ma I'm not doing chemio, but. And I was easily telling my story, just me, entry level camera, and just recording my feeling. Hey guys, stop it. I can do that anymore. I cannot reply to you. I'm not doing cameo. I'm fine. Okay, I'm fine. It happened. This, and this. Look, no hair. Look, no eyebrows. Look, no nails. But I will be better somehow. So that was the down. Okay, because now I'm laughing. I'm joking. I can talk about that. But at that time, it was really terrible. really terrible. I I'm telling you something that I swear I never told anybody in front of a camera, but to see more than in your wife eyes, but your daughter eye, that she was looking at me and she felt that I was strange. My aspect was different, and I didn't know what to do. And not I'm ugly or that. What's happening? What's happening? And I felt responsible for that. I felt that I should do something, and the only thing I was thinking of how I can recover my hair, how I can recover my nails. No, that was not the correct answer. I had to do something to show people that I'm fine, that I can manage. And after uh, 1 year, something like 1 year, yeah, I got in touch with some people from Dubai Sport Council. I think you met His Excellency Saeed Harb, is General Secretary of Dubai Sport Council. I came to Dubai in 2004 through Saeed Harb. At that time, he was chairman of the IMC. I still have one picture while visiting the Palm in 2004 with him. And so I've been invited by Dubai Sport Council and one Italian organization who the one they brought the Dubai tour here in the Emirati to attend one half marathon in Ras Al Khaimah. So it was my first sport challenge, my first race after all the issues I got. And few months after, I decided to go for another sport challenge. For the 49th UAE National Day, I decided to realize another sport challenge. And it was an easy one, nothing compared to 140 kilometers in the desert.
What was it?
A triathlon.
Oh, because that's easy.
Yeah.
Because we all do that, don't we?
I mean, it was not a triathlon based on performance competition. It was a solo triathlon, 49th UAE National Day. So I did 49 minutes swimming here at the point on the Palm. Then I took my bicycle, 49 minutes cycling from the Palm to the UAE flag, 49 minutes running from the UAE flag till the Dubai frame. And I still remember that as I arrived, okay, Sahid, greetings, Italian ambassador, Italian consul, pictures. And then they made me an interview. And during the interview, I started crying. And I said, I'm back. That one was an easy one. And
but it was almost like symbolic, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a symbol of that I am back. I'm really back. I'm still here. I can do something not extreme, because it was not something extreme, but I'm still here doing something, thinking of something.
But hold on a minute here. So we essentially have got a situation where you've gone through some challenges. The perception is you've got cancer, basically,
Yes.
and you're having chemo. You need to prove to everybody that that's not the case. You've done something, and again, as you say, symbolic. So yeah, a lot of people might think maybe I just so you know, I can do the bike ride and the run. I can't do the swim. So it's achievable in that respect. But you did something symbolic, which has clearly switched some form of light on or ignited some form of flame in you that you didn't have before.
Yes, correct. And after that, after passing by an accident, and I could really die during that accident, the one in the desert when I
with
fell
the bike,
down.
yeah.
So I was not dying because of the problem generated by my sport challenge, but from easy training in the desert. So sport challenge extreme, a fall from the bike in the desert, I could really die, and then I'm back. And that was not the final stage, because at that time when I did this triathlon, I said, okay, I think I can go on from the point I stopped. So I At that time, I was not thinking about doing something extreme, um, but maybe something inside me.
What were you running away from?
No, it's not that.
What were you running to?
Uh, I tell you, everything that could go wrong during the preparation of the 140K went wrong. So I needed to prove myself that I could do that in the right way with the proper preparation. So after 2 years more, I decided I will go for something more extreme, 200 kilometers. And I was joking at the time that the most difficult part of this challenge will be to tell my wife that I'm going to do something extreme. But actually, was not easy. I still remember where we were having dinner. It was in Jumeirah Road, in a small cafeteria. And Valentina, listen, I'm thinking about something, but don't worry, everything will be fine now. Okay, that's how I started. But you have to consider there were lots of things in common between the two preparation. I will just tell you one. Now I got mental coach, personal trainer, nutrition is following me, so I was much more aware of what I was going to face. But for example, during the preparation of the 140 kilometers, I lost two relatives in a day. During the preparation of the 200 kilometers, my mom passed away. So lots of things in common. The day after my mom passed away, I was in Napoli. Luckily, I was in Italy, so I could stay close to her for the last moment of her life. I went running because I had to do my training on that day. So I ran 32 kilometers. How? Taking advantage of the city. Okay, I am the city that where my mom spent all her life. There are lots of things she loved. Okay, I will run across all the iconic points for my mom. So, discipline, self motivation.
Before we go any further, just tell me a bit about your mum. What kind of a woman was she like?
Both my mom and my father is still alive, are very simple people. Daddy was an worker in a factory for 22 years. Mom secretary for 40 years, all her life in the same workplace, doing the same things. And I need also to tell you one thing about that. Do you think it will be a question for you? Do you think that when I moved to Dubai from a poor family with just degree and 100 US dollar in my pocket, everybody was supporting me, starting from my parents? No.
No, not at all.
No, absolutely not. I still remember once we were walking to the cafeteria close by our house, and it was my dad, my uncle, and but what you have to do with this Dubai? Why you don't go somewhere else? Why you don't look for a proper job here in Napoli? Okay, so people think, oh, you live in Dubai, you're driving your Porsche, you live in your own villa. Yeah, it was easy for you. You had everybody giving you money and support. No, absolutely not. Starting from your parents. And also, when I started planning, organizing the 200 kilometers, the people around me, of course, they were scared. Okay, but they were not supporting me in doing that. So there are lots of things that people don't observe.
Did your mum and dad kind of like cheer you on? Did your mum support you from the sidelines? Was she one of those types of mum? Was she nurturing? Were you special? Was in a little hero of hers? You know, how was that? How was that relationship?
Mom unluckily got Alzheimer for last 10 years of her life. So my mom didn't realize anything. She never met my second kid. And my father, of course, in those 10 years was busy with her. So they were, of course, worried when I started getting all the problems here and everything. They were very worried about. But that's it. They were not understanding, not even my job actually. Still, if you ask my father, what's your son job? Yeah, maybe he's not able to reply, but he's so proud of me. He can see me on Sky Sports in Italy, on the newspapers, and then the awards. So he's very proud, but still he's not fully understanding what's happening.
What's your favorite memory of your mum?
There is one at the same time very important, but not very happy because my mom was not recognizing me. But the last time I saw her, uh, I don't know how, but I knew that that was the last moment because I was in Napoli. I was going back to the mountains. We talked about the Dolomites a few ago, and but I had to go back to join my family, and I didn't know my mom how much could live. So at that time I was going away, and she said me hello, and I had that feeling, mom, it's last time, I know. And one very nice memory, it was when I was, I think, 5 6 years old, something like that. We were in Ischia, an island in front of Napoli, and she brought me for just a weekend. I mean, from a very poor family, we didn't have time and money to go weekend here and that. But that was one weekend that we went only me and mom, and she was teaching me how to swim. Consider I've never been a sport person, and also I can see my daughter. She's already doing challenges and she's winning races, competition swimming. My son Raffaele is 3.5, same as me, not able to swim, to jump, to run, and I was like that. But I still remember my mom. She's not sport at all. She was not sport at all as well. She was trying to teach me how to swim in her way. And now that I'm doing those extreme stuff, I'm very linked to that moment. Something started somehow.
Special.
Yeah.
Now your mum passes away, and you've got this big event coming up.
Yes.
How did, for a lot of people, that would completely sideswipe them. It would completely detract them from being able to focus and stay disciplined and on track with what they had to do. So how did you do that? Was there something consciously you did, or just explain that for me?
Discipline. One word, discipline. And of course, also in that occasion, I was not supported from my relative. Oh, come on, your mom just passed away, and you are going for running, for jogging. I'm not jogging. I'm running, first of all, and there is something I need to do. I need to complete this path. Otherwise, I will never defeat my demons, the one coming from the 140 kilometers. So I have to do that in the best way ever, also for my mom. So it's just matter of discipline. Maybe you will adapt somehow your training. Maybe on that day you are supposed to do, I don't know, 50 kilometers. I only run for 32, but in any case, I go out and run. That's it, no matter what. I will tell you another episode that happened in Dubai. Easier to tell this one. We were living on the Palm actually with my wife, and the routine was every Friday for at least 5 months, the last 5 months of preparation. Every Friday, it's at least a marathon. Can you imagine? Have you ever run a marathon, Spencer?
No.
No. Just imagine to run a marathon every week for 5 months, at least one marathon every week. So Friday morning routine is bring Adelaide to school, leave the car there, switch off the mobile, and start running for 40 kilometers, at least 40 kilometers, somewhere in Dubai. Maybe along Jumeirah Road, maybe I take the car, I go to Al Qudra or something. And I remind you that I'm not a professional athlete. I'm not a professional runner. So in the meanwhile, you need to manage family, business, customers, and everybody. So I need to find my way to train every single time. On that day, I decided to just run over Jumeirah Road. So from Safa, Jumeirah Road, coming back on the Palm, then back, blah blah blah, something like that. At one point, I am very fond of supercars and cars in general. On Jumeirah Road, close by Kite Beach, I saw one Cadillac DeVille 59 model. So I took the mobile to take a picture of the car while running, and see 9 missed call from my wife. What happened? I called her and you have to run home because I got burnt everywhere, hot water, blah blah blah. So I was running, no money, just dressed as a runner. I mean, so I had to stop a taxi driver, explain him, listen, I don't have money, but I need to go home. I swear I'm going to pay you as we reach home. In the meanwhile, call a doctor and manage everything. And the babysitter was not there at that time because usually on Friday she's coming late because she's going away late. So everything happened in that time. But once doctor came, nothing serious. The maid arrived. Adelaide came back home. Blah blah blah. Okay, everything solved. We are fine. We are easy. We are comfortable. What do you think I did? Taxi back to the same place where I stopped running to complete my training. Okay, this is the mindset. And this is the
Come on,
message.
that's a bit extreme.
And this is the message that I'm sharing with people because I'm not a Guinness World Record. I'm not, I don't have any Olympic medal, but I want to share with people that everybody can do that. It's just question of mindset. If you want to do that, you can. If you want to do that.
Isn't it a question of priorities?
I prefer to say it's a question of discipline and mindset, not priorities.
Well, I think my personal belief is everybody finds time to do the things they want to do.
Yeah.
They generally don't find time for things they don't want to do. So I go to the gym every day at 5 a.m. Everybody else can. Everybody else can get up an hour early. They can go to the gym at 5. They can train for an hour. They can even come to my gym and train for free with a trainer for free if they want, because I invite people to.
Yeah.
Many people say to me that they want to get fit. Many people say to me they need to exercise. So it's not like I'm offering something that people say they don't need or want, but their priority is to stay in bed because they'd rather sleep than train at 5 a.m. Yeah. I noticed that this discussion between discipline and priority may come from a different place, but may mean the same thing depending on who you are. But I really do believe if somebody wants something bad enough, they find time for it. You know, they're the people that I know that live in England and they never, ever miss a football match of their team.
Yeah.
You know, there is people I know, my dad, my stepfather, who will never miss a round of golf, you know, and he's retired and 3 days a week he plays golf. And if he's injured, God forbid my mum has to deal with that because that's his priority.
Right.
And so when you talk about what happened to your wife, and you know, that's a terrible thing to happen, to go back and finish your running, it's important to you. It matters to you. It doesn't matter to other people, but it matters to you enough. And I think what you want is what I struggle with too, is why you can't understand why other people can't have the same commitment to their something, whatever that same thing may be, the discipline to achieve the same, whatever their thing is. That could be a bike ride, that could be a walk, that could be cooking, that it doesn't matter, a job, it doesn't matter. And that's what we find frustrating as human beings, because when you understand it's a priority and all you need is discipline and the right type of habits, it's common sense. But for 99% of the world's population, it's not. It's like, and is that because you found your calling and they didn't?
It's
did you find what mattered to you and they didn't?
I can say that
Are lazy people lost, or are they lazy?
yeah, there are lots of lazy people at the world.
But
I
are
can
they
tell you.
lost, or are they lazy?
Lost maybe, I don't know, but they didn't find their way. I found my way not in running, but in doing in practicing sports and bringing my sport at an extreme level for the average people. But in any case, it's not my priority, because if you ask what's your priority, my family, then I will adapt to my family the training, the sport challenge, and everything.
So the training comes secondary to your family.
In order of priority, yes.
So if you can't train today, you can't train today because the
I don't
family need
mind,
you.
because
If you can't train for the next 2 weeks,
I don't mind if we have something to do. I mean, we spent something like 7 weeks in Italy this summer, and we had some family problems. My mother-in-law was at the hospital. I had to stay alone with the two kids, so I was not able to train for more than 2 weeks. Discipline. I decided to adapt this situation to my family. So, okay, I'm not able to train. I can't go for running. I can go for swimming. No problem. What can I do? Okay, I never test, for example, 40 hours fasting. So, one of that week, I dedicated to fasting, because in any case, I'm not able to train. And so, I don't need performance. I'm fasting. I'm testing something different on my body.
apart from people messaging you and everyone wanting to know whether you're having chemotherapy and you make a video and I'm not having chemo, tell me how losing your hair impacts your masculinity, impacts your self-esteem and your confidence.
Totally. Totally. At that time, totally. Now I don't care. I still I still know that I will not be a model in my life. Not
Me neither. And I've got hair. Okay, folks, let's talk about real estate. Now, a recent partnership that we've just established on the podcast is with AYS Developers, luxury properties with high-end finishes from people that really understand the subject. Often in Dubai, you'll find stuff that is maybe substandard. With AYS Developers, you're not going to see that. You're going to see fantastic properties that you can buy, you can invest in, you can make a home on Dubai Islands and other places too. So go visit aysdevelopers.ae and check them out. I promise you it'll be worth the trip. So you're not a model anymore. You're not a model, and I'm no model either. Okay, carry on.
But at the same time, I'm accept that I'm not. I don't have the aspect I wish to have. I cannot manage anymore. So let's go forward. That's it. I can work on other things. I can work on my body, on my diet, on my sport challenge, on my wealth, on my family. There's something that they're out of my control. For the expo, I done 50,000 steps in one day from Ashandaga, Old Dubai, till Expo 2020 Italian Pavilion. So I was linking the old Dubai and the future, let's say. So I tried to organize and think about something new, something different, something with a message, something that can help to discover the landscape, the beautiful landscape that we have here in the UAE. So there is always a message beside everybody can do it, but also a message. Dubai is not only skyscrapers, it's not only a fake, it's not, there is a deep culture, there is a story. For example, I will tell you, when I was preparing the 50,000 steps, I had two sport challenges in 1 month on that year. The first one that for me was the proper sport challenge, all around the Emirates with my fat bike. And then I did something extra, the 50,000 steps in a day, 1 month before during the expo. I don't know why, but that one, the second one, got more popularity and was reposted by media, and it was more nice than the other one. And there was a deep, a huge story behind, because I was attending one event in Al Shandaga, in one museum, the Crossroads of Museum, the Crossroads of Civilization Museum in Al Shandaga. The owner is a friend of mine, Emirati. And during this event, he introduced me to one of his dearest friends. And, talking, Yasser, I'm doing blah, blah, blah. Yeah. He changed your expression. Why you are doing exactly this route? And believe me, first sensation, I was scared. Oh, maybe I did something wrong against
Yeah.
the culture.
Offended somebody, yeah.
And because I thought it could be nice to start from Ahmed Museum. You asked me several times here, and then the Dubai frame, then Union Flag, Jumeirah, blah, 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 till arriving at Expo in Jebel Ali. And you know that you have chosen the same path that our grandpas were following to buy to Jebel Ali and buy pearls. Really? Yes. So I was following actually the route of the birds here
Nice.
without knowing.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's
And
good.
they were stopping in some iconic points where friends could host them in a safe way, because there were lots of Bedouins that could attack them. And so I did something historical.
Great.
And it was very, very nice. And actually, they were waiting for me at the arrival at
Yeah.
the Italian pavilion, and they gave me one pearl
Oh, yeah?
as a word. Yeah.
How cool is that? You're from Italy, you're from Napoli, and very close to Napoli is probably one of most people in the world's most famous places to visit. And they dream about what a life might be like down there. The Amalfi Coast, Sorrento, Positano, Priano, Capri, and so on. A beautiful part of the world. And a lot of people here talk about when they leave Dubai eventually, where they would retire. And Italy is talked about a lot. Now, I'm sure my wife would be the Amalfi Coast, I'd be in the Dolomites, and so we're in different parts of the country. But you've left,
Yes.
arguably, one of the world's favorite countries to come here.
Yeah.
And Dubai seems to be like Marmite. People either love it or they hate it.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think people hate Dubai?
Because they cannot understand Dubai, or they stop at the skyscrapers, shopping malls, and they then go deeper. And in part, it's also Dubai's responsibility, because sometimes they don't push for their identity. You are not going to see that in the other Emirates, Abu Dhabi, Ras Al Khaimah, Fujairah. So Dubai has a story. I mean, that first time that the word Dubai has been mentioned in a published book, it was in 1592, a book from an Italian writer, Gasparo Balbi. So Dubai has a long story. There is a culture. There are lots of things to do beside the shopping malls and the skyscrapers. But if you have to look for it. So it's understandable that someone that is coming here for 5 days, staying in Dubai Marina, will not go further. That's why they hate Dubai. But at the same time, Dubai is a city with a total safety, lots of opportunities, and where your kids can grow up in a multi-language and multicultural environment. I mean, my kids have Italian and Arabic name. They speak Italian, English, Arabic at 3 and 8 years old, and they have lots of opportunity. And we have still lots of opportunity. Italy is a beautiful country, but it's not easy to organize stuff. It's not easy to grow in that country, also professionally. Do you think I could ever organize sport challenge in Italy? No. unless I am already a famous sport person, I will not. I cannot say I will not have the authorization to do that. They will never reply to me. For the first sport challenge, I went to the Dubai Sport Council. I want to do that. Amazing idea. Approved, supported by Dubai Sport Council. Not with money, but with visibility. And also the big brand that were involved. Just going there, hey, I have this idea. Oh, we love it.
You talk and quote the Little Prince.
Yeah.
Okay, often. Okay. What is essentially is invisible to the eyes? What does that mean to you?
And I have to say also that there is a strict relation between, the story of the little prince in the desert. So the desert somehow is coming back again and again. I think that's a beautiful story, and that's why I love it. Even though the idea of collecting the books in all the different languages came by chance, by time passing. What's the invisible the thing that you can see with your heart and not with your eyes depends on you. There is not a specific answer valid for everybody. In my case, I can tell you that the answer is again in the desert, because the desert is giving you. Have you ever been in the desert, Spencer?
Many times.
Where? Doing what?
Fossil Rock, Wadi Nakab, Kudra, Valley of the Caves at Malaya. I've been, loads. I spend every weekend out in the mountains. And
Have you ever been alone in the desert? Completely alone?
No.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
If you go there with friends, barbecue, let's enjoy a party.
Yeah, I wish I did. We climb mountains. So, and hike in the mountains and stuff. So that's what we do. But have I ever been alone? No, because it's dangerous.
One of my sport challenge in 2021, 24 hours alone in the desert. 4x4 left me in Fossil Rock. They picked me up, Pinker Rock, after 24 hours. I was completely alone. It was not a huge distance, 35 kilometers, to be covered during the day.
Yeah.
But then I had to have time to set up the tent and everything. So, and wow. That's the only sport challenge I would do again and again and again, because I love it. That feeling, actually.
You believe that everybody can do it. You're one of these people that has this mindset that I'm not special, everybody can do it, yeah? But there's people out there that don't believe they can do it. There's people out there that have low self-esteem, low confidence. There's people that really just don't believe in themselves. What would you say to those people?
Come with me and run. There is one of my dearest
But you know
friends-
what? To get people just to even do that is a massive step. Because I can't get people to come to the gym at 5 a.m. in the morning. So the thought of that you trying to convince people to go out into the desert and run with them, to me, is okay once they're there, but it's to get them there. So what would you say to those people that are sitting there with low self-esteem, that don't believe that what you're saying is true?
No, I don't push them. It needs to be their choice to come.
How do you encourage them?
Once I was in Napoli, so not related to the desert, but the numbers are very important in this case. There's one of my dearest friend, and he used to work with me at that time, and he was running 5, 10K, the usual training for, as we said, an average person. I said, Roberto, let's meet in on the seaside that time. We will go for a run. I let him run 32 kilometers. And I didn't. I asked him to hide his watch, so he didn't have the feeling. And then I stopped him after 3 hours. Roberto, you just run 32 kilometers. Do you think you can run a marathon now? Yes.
And that was the first run he did? Really?
More than 10. He used to run 5 to 10 kilometers. That's it. And from that time, every Christmas, he's going for a run alone for more than 20, 30 kilometers after that run. So that's the message I want to share. Sometimes maybe you will come with me in the desert. You will be able to run only 1 kilometer. That's enough because it's more than you expected.
I have a friend of mine that had a really successful media business and got hooked on drugs and alcohol and found his wife in bed with his best friend. And he was devastated. And the business fell apart. All this happened, yeah? And he had an addiction. But one day he woke up and he changed his addiction because he knew he was addicted. He just had to be addicted to something else. And he started running. And now he runs 10 miles in the morning and 10 miles in the evening every day because he's addicted to running. But as he said, it's a much better addiction. So you're addicted. There's a feeling that it creates for you, whether it's euphoric, whether it's getting one over on something. A lot of people have something in their life like a bully when they were a kid. It's like, I'll show you, that gives them drive to prove something. It's like, who are you proving something to? And how can we help people? Because we really want to help people. You really want to help people. It's not, here's my story, I'm great, fuck you. It's like, here's my story, I believe this, and I can help you believe too. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So let's think about some steps that we can give them. The first time you went out and you ran, do you remember that first time? How did you get there? The guy said you come and run with me, yeah? How did he get you there?
Actually, I started running because I was not able to train anymore with the martial arts. So that was my need to go on training. I was already addicted with training.
Okay, so Nico, there's a lot of people out there that are going to be sitting here going, stop saying I'm normal. You're not. You do such incredible, extreme events, whether it's running, whether it's cycling, it's literally nuts. People have to start somewhere, just like you did. If I was sat with you today and I met you for the first time and you were giving me some advice and the steps I needed to follow, where would you start and what would those steps be?
First of all, find your own way, your own sport, your passion, something you really like to do that. It's not a duty, it's something you want to do that. You can't wait to go out and run, swim, walk, hike, whatever you want. Okay, I mean, you don't need to have the desert because there are lots of places where there is no desert. Desert is a symbol. You have to find for your own desert, your dimension, the place where you can um, defeat your demons.
Defeat my demons. Okay, so let's say I find my thing. Let's say, I don't know, I love hiking. So let me use that as an example. I love hiking. How could I use hiking then?
Tell me one thing, Spencer. When you go for hiking, are you alone?
No,
Why?
because it's dangerous.
Of course. Also, to be in the desert alone is dangerous. Also, to be underwater, I am a scuba diver, is dangerous. But find a way to be alone there in safety. But to have, for example, 1 kilometers alone hiking, okay, with all the safety, radio, GPS, whatever, but alone,
Why?
you and the nature, because it will be maybe your desert. Try to do something to step up. And to be alone is dangerous, yes. I tell you one story. I brought one personal trainer. He is a very fit guy, okay, so very trained person. We were in Al Qudra, okay. You know the way to go to Damak Hills.
Yeah.
So main road, road. So it's just a rectangle, okay. So you are safe in any case. We went there for a training. He was supposed to train with me to go for a 5 to 10 kilometers run, whatever. We reached the place, and I told him, listen, car is going to be here. Then give me the mobile. No mobile with you. You will be alone. Oh, I have electrolytes. No, water. 2 small bottles. start running. And you, I will wait for you here. He was alone. And from the GPS, we saw that his path was completely wrong. And
Really?
he was yeah, from here, he went left side, then he crossed this road, thinking it was that one, then went straight. He went back to Al Qudra Road. He got completely lost. He went out of mind. And it was a completely safe environment. But he changed the approach. Oh, okay, that's the desert. That's the desert. So also while hiking, you can, for example, do some night hiking. You can explore some places by yourself. Sometimes you need to be alone. You need to be alone because you have to challenge yourself somehow. You don't want to run 200 kilometers. Okay, there are many other things to challenge yourself. You can wake up early in the morning if you are not used to that. But at the same time, if you want not to be bored or stressed about that, you need to find something comfortable with you. I tell you, I don't like to wake up early in the morning. It's not comfortable with me. I mean, I don't wake up at 12, but to wake up also 5 a.m. in the morning, for me, it's stressy. So that's I prefer to wake up 6:30, 7, do my routine and everything. So you need to find something comfortable with you, but it doesn't mean that you cannot challenge yourself at the same time.
So what you're basically saying is coming to the gym with me at 5 a.m. in the morning is your desert.
It can be my desert, maybe. It can be my gene in the desert. But for example, you love swimming. You can go on swimming and you can be comfortable with swimming. And then you can try open water swim. And have you ever tried open water swim?
Yeah.
Where?
At Jumeirah.
Where exactly? Where to where?
Close to Sakin Beach, so not far from the Burj Al Arab. Yeah.
Okay, but you were inside the buoys actually.
You know, I went out. Okay, went out to the other side and swam around the Burj Al Arab.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
That's very nice.
It wasn't pleasant
Why?
because I could see everything underwater, and there was more going on than in a swimming pool. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't like sea snakes.
Open water.
I don't like jellyfish.
Open water swim is also a desert. It's a kind of desert.
Yeah.
Because you have jellyfishes. You have. I mean, I did some diving among jellyfishes, and I was very scared. You can have barracuda. You can have dolphins, but sometimes dolphins are not dangerous, but are very scary. I have a dear friend of mine who was completely scared of dolphins, for example, and you don't know how to manage direction when you are over water. So there are thousands of things that you can use to challenge yourself. Also, a power walk can be challenging. For example, the 50,000 steps. I did 50,000 steps in a day. Why? Because for the normal people, 10,000 steps per day are more than enough. And listen, I can do 50,000 steps. If I can do, everybody can do it.
Here you talk about because you do talk about alone quite a lot. I like being on my own. And if you said to me, go and park your car in the desert and watch the stars overnight, I suppose I would like that. But what do you get from being alone?
When I talk about being alone in that kind of situation, I'm talking about proper survival. I'm not parking the car along the road in Al Qudra and just watching the stars, but I'm talking about to challenge somehow yourself alone, because in that occasion, it's a sort of survival. You need to survive.
So are you looking or leaning into the vulnerability of that situation, that being frightened?
Yeah. You can get lost actually while training in the desert alone. So you need to be very careful. Safety first, of course. I am a rescue diver, so I am involved in rescue in any case. So safety first, but at the same time, challenge yourself.
And when is it too much? When is it too extreme? I mean, 200 kilometers, 300 kilometers, this, that. I mean, where does it end?
defy your limits. You define what is extreme for you. There is not a general answer to that question.
For anyone?
The marathon, from a running point of view, is something extreme, is the farthest distance. But then there is the ultramarathons, and then there is the Ironman for triathlon, but then there is the ultra Ironman. And so you define what is extreme for you. For me, the most extreme sport challenge I've ever done is the 200 kilometers. I'm happy with that. Yes. I would do something more extreme. Maybe yes, if there are the conditions. But I don't need to do that. I needed to do that at that time of my life. Now I don't need, but I could decide to do that if there are the proper conditions.
Got it. Nico, 21 years of being here in the UAE, you clearly are made in Dubai. Thanks for coming on the show today. Thanks for talking to us, telling us about your challenges, what you've been up to, and helping to inspire other people to get on to do some great things themselves too.
Thanks to you, Spencer. And as I finish all my video on YouTube, ma salama.